He's talking into the well.
They're
Our engineering team is
communicating.
talking into the microphone, but
Oh.
hi, Mikey.
Yeah, that. Oh, what?
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hey, all right. You're in the room.
It's live.
I'm also here.
Hi, Mikey. Hi, Mikey.
Hello,
been here the whole time.
Fred. Hello, Fred. Thanks,
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, BJ.
I love your shirt.
Oh, so many. Yeah, I wore my best Reptar for you. that I wanted to dress to the nines for my DB calling for whatever DB2018. I don't know. So many.
It's been a lot.
God, the audio from the room is so crushed it is hard to hear you.
Oh.
It's just like needles in your ear. It's really something.
Oh,
Okay.
good. That's great. That's the kind of user experience we hope to create.
Hopefully you have got the co-pilot mic though. You can hear me all right.
Yes, I can hear you perfectly fine.
Okay, so it's just everybody else that is the problem. Okay,
Wait,
cool.
You're sort of also picking up on the room mic, so there's like a touch of, but like it's not as bad.
Good to know.
A skosh of.
All right, so Mikey, of course, we all in the room, we love your work. We're friends
Yeah.
and fans. But could
Film
I ask
joy.
you to let anybody out there in our chat or our viewers know what it is you do and where they might know you from?
Well, I used to work in video games. You might know me from there, from a little game called Borderlands. I hear it did okay. Fake modesty. It's average. I do a show called Movies of Mikey on YouTube. You can go to youtube.com/filmjoy and you can check out all our stuff. I also do another show called Deep Dive, and we've been shooting all day. I'm very tired.
Awesome.
Very good. And that's a show where me and my friends, it's a panel show, and we watch very bad movies and we try to find ways to love them anyway. It's sort of like finding problem children and finding something good about them, which in Movies of Mikey is all about celebrating films. So the whole Film Joy thing is, what if they made you happy instead of just being angry all the time?
Yay.
Thank you.
Cool.
It's so great, and you might have seen. I don't know if you heard this story already, but you might have seen the challenge coins that are going out with every Desert Bus Prize this year.
Yeah.
And here we go. It's the coin and there's a card and they go together in this little bag and they barely fit in the bag. So these were all stuffed together by James and Fugi mostly.
James and I and Fugi.
Yeah. And they did this while watching the first two Harry Potter movies because they watched the movies with Mikey on Harry Potter, and then James was like, well, now I need to watch Harry Potter again. So, and
Yeah, that's been the other thing taking over my entire life right now is I decided, just do a 3-part Harry Potter series. Part 1 is out. It came out on Halloween. Part 2 will come out on Thanksgiving, and Part 3 on Christmas. I thought talking about 8 films would be easy. My sweet summer child. Me. It's a lot. There's a lot of Harry Potter. I don't know if you guys know this. There's a lot.
So that actually segues me into the first question we have for you, which is just how sick of Harry Potter are you at this point?
Not as sick as you, but because generally when I'm going through a film, because I'm kind of going in order chronologically to sort of map out this amazing film, because I think it's incredible they made a series of 8 films in less than a decade.
yeah.
No one has ever done that, and then the accomplishment was sort of ignored. Impossible. They did an impossible thing. But by going in order,
With the same
because they
cast?
sort of get better as they go and they do new and interesting things as they go, you get bored of one, you just move on to the next one, and you're like, awesome. So I'm not surprisingly tired of Harry Potter.
How long had it been since you had last watched them prior to now?
Well, I watch Azkaban at least once a year. I watch Goblet at least once a year. Watching them start to finish, it'd been like since the movies came out, basically.
All right.
I really appreciated a bit that you mentioned in the first episode when you were talking about, because you did a whole episode on Prisoner of Azkaban, which was great. And then the section on Azkaban in the first Harry Potter episode when you were talking about how this was the movie that sold the series on people who didn't read the books. That was literally me. Because I think I'd seen the second one. I think maybe I hadn't seen even the first movie when I went with all my friends, because all my friends were going to see the third one. So I was like, all right, sure. And I never do that. I'm always like, no, I have to see the thing. I just didn't care. I was like, all right, sure, we'll go see Harry Potter. Why not? Okay, cool. And the Prisoner of Azkaban came out was so good that I was like, all right, no, I'm in. I'm here. I'm here now.
Yeah.
I think that's fair, because like when you look at, it's like it's also like finding this line of like common criticisms from fans, whereas like the books and the films diverged as they went. You sort of added people that just love cinema, and you found this new audience, and it's like you still have the book. It's okay. It's not exactly the same. Because the first two movies are pretty much exactly the same, and the third one's like, what if we made these like films for like people, for art purposes? And it's expanding the audience, and I think that's what you see happen. Is it sort of starts like this and goes, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right, so we have a whole bunch of questions that have come in to us from our Twitter. Lots and lots of people have lots and lots of questions for you. So if you don't mind, I'm going to just sort of run you down the list.
Go for it.
So starting from the top, we have a question from the Boone Armies, asking if you could reboot and significantly overhaul the core characters and dynamics of any late 80s through early thousands kids show in roughly the vein Power Rangers did recently. What series do you pick, and where do you take it?
Wow.
What's funny is it's like there's so many more examples. Like DuckTales just rebooted, and it's great both times.
Yep.
Like that's what I love when a reboot is like you can put it next to the old one, and they're still both great. Which is how I consider Power Rangers. Like the movie, I think improved upon the things that were a little not woke about Power Rangers. To be very delicate. Gosh, there's so... Just to give a shout out to Straub, I think it would be really interesting to reboot Small Wonder. And so like...
Sorry.
Something usable. He's got a lot of ideas about that, by the way. You should bug him about it. But yeah, I think that would be cool. Like, one, maybe answer the question. Oh, you built a robot maid? Why is it a child? Why? Because it's like mathematically less capable just based on size. Like, so but he was like, well, I wanted a maid and a daughter. Okay, 2 more questions. It's like a very Cinderella sort of like, because you remember how like everyone was like, oh, we got a new kid. You're the maid now. Here is your maid accoutrement. I don't know, like. But I think Small Wonder would be cool.
All right, great. Do you have a favorite movie, dog, cat, or other animal?
Movie, dog, cat, or other animal?
That's from Pale Kale.
I think I like it when they turn the animals into characters that... So, like, here's a fact about a movie that I find very interesting. I Am Legend, the best character in that movie is the dog.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that movie.
And the dog has the biggest sacrifice, too. So it's like, it's really interesting where, like, the dog sacrifice outweighs Will Smith's sacrifice. Sorry, spoilers for a movie that is fine. But it's fine. The best scene is you know what I'm saying. So like, it's okay. But you know what I mean? Like that I think is something. There's something to be said for a movie where the animals outweigh the humans.
Yeah.
To give you a very esoteric answer.
I like the horse from Mulan.
The horse.
Ooh.
Disney has a thing about like making horses just really funny.
Yeah.
Very personal. Same thing with Tangled. My horse too.
Okay, Mikey, do you have any advice for somebody who wants to get into a career of critiquing and discussing film?
Yeah, it's interesting to look at, like, even in like the YouTube world, because like before you had newspapers and film shows like Ebert and Roper, Siskel and Ebert. Basically, there's always an Ebert. But you have all these different sort of generational things, and like YouTube itself has like 3 or 4 generations of like movie people. Like first generation movie people are like, all movies are bad, they're terrible. You shouldn't watch them, but give me all your money. And it's sort of evolved into like a much more nuanced, interesting thing. Like, to sort of paint that in a picture that will add despair to this situation, all of my like sort of film essay YouTube friends, like, because we all talk, like this generation, I think they're all amazing and I'm an idiot and I just have imposter syndrome all the time. Because they all have like, ooh, check out my double major in film theory. And I'm like, check out my... I went to work at 19, so...
Check out my BB-8 lantern? What is... Hank, what is that?
Is that a pan?
So like lesson 1 is accept praise, like from people, not just criticism, accept the praise so your imposter syndrome sort of fades. Because like, I can say with some confidence that I offer something that has value to the world. And I would say find the thing that you feel has value. Instead of just being like, I want to dissect why, I don't know, like whatever good or horrible movie. Like instead of just like taking the super collegiate approach, because that level of criticism is very high competition right now, is just find an angle and find a sort of, like, Hot Pepper Gaming is a really easy example of like, they wanted to get cool people and talk about games. All right, you have to eat a habanero. Like that is and it worked. And like that was sort of replicated even on like Hot Ones, which is like one of my favorite shows on YouTube, and all they do is eat spicy chicken wings. And no one can touch Padma Lakshmi apparently when it comes to spice, because she was just like, is this it?
Yeah. That was amazing.
And it was amazing because she's just like, whatever. But yeah, like find a way to bring something to the table, because what happened with Hot Ones over time is you find with celebrities, which are now like AAA celebrities, by eating spicy wings that are so hot you lose your mind a little bit, like the endorphin rush is so high, you're just really honest. So he can ask like Sean Evans, the host, he can ask super probing questions, and if they're high enough on the Scoville scale, they might answer it. And I think that's such an interesting sort of twist on just a normal show.
Okay, the next question comes from the room. Is that a BB-8 pot hanging from your kitchenware in the back?
No, it's a Japanese lantern.
Oh, it's a Japanese lantern. All right,
Oh.
now we know.
Great.
In BB-8 form, as everyone has in their kitchen. What a stupid question. Oh wait, I'm sorry. I'm being told that is not the case. No one has that. Whoops. Perhaps I'm the dumb one.
Trendsetter.
If someone likes Riverdale, what is another show with similar drama and campy flavor that you recommend? That one comes to us from Trick Chair.
Is there anything else like that?
Well,
I mean, Sabrina.
There's Sabrina.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't watched it yet.
I think the sort of kitsch of the question is like old IP reinvented in a new way that says new things in a very modern context without losing the core of who those people are, which is why I do a Riverdale podcast with John Reisinger from Rooster Teeth. Go to crimyriverdale.com. Plugged before it was plug time. What you got? I don't know. That's an interesting, because like I fell in love with Riverdale because I'm like, what scratches this itch? I didn't know this was an itch I had. To see you like flagrantly flaunt these like time protected characters, you know. But the Archie people have always been really like open to doing whatever. So I don't know if there is an answer to that question, to be honest with you. Can anyone in the room think of one?
I've got one on top of my head, and that's the new Star Trek Discovery. It feels like Star Trek, even if it doesn't always check the boxes that fans want for this is a Star Trek.
I think it's important to note that like Star Trek Discovery does not go Riverdale nuts.
No.
Like, Riverdale is like, bring the sharks in. I got all the motorcycles. And like that's the thing the show does, is it jumps all sharks all the time in an endearing, beautiful way that the characters do not lose themselves in the like it's almost like they dared them, jump the shark every episode. And they're like, all right. And I love Discovery, so please watch that as well. But it's interesting to find something on the same level, because I don't know if that's possible.
Are there any movies that you went into with lower expectations before reviewing them and then came out with a much, much higher appreciation of it?
I think literally every movie I've ever talked about, I had lower expectations when I started. And I'm like, what are you going to... Because like part of the game of YouTube is like, can you just go for whatever period of time and just create content at like... Because it's an inherently disposable platform. So like, some of the time the stuff I'm like telling to people and them going, oh, I learned a thing. I also learned the thing. Because it's like this cycle of like research and appreciation, and I don't know, like deep dive tends to be a lot more. Like I thought Power Rangers was gonna blow tonsils, and it was like awesome. And the whole time we're like, this is awesome. So that was that exploded my expectations, just totally obliterated them. So maybe that.
Okay, that actually leads into another question that came in that touches on just what you said. Has going through deep dive episodes like Power Rangers and Green Lantern, where you ended up really enjoying a film you expected to be bad, changed what films you commit to in your free time?
I think the surprise for us has not, like, because that surprise I think happens to all of us almost every time. I think the reverse is like, we're now surprised by the film that we're still at the end like, woof. And like Mordecai with Johnny Depp sort of met that. Because like, he just grabs people in sexual manners and like unconsensually. And you're like, well, that sucks. That's not good. Like, and there's no Band-Aid for that. So it's like, the sort of thing that we came to on Mordecai is what's the positive thing? Watch Mordecai as if everyone in the cast is playing a practical joke on Johnny Depp.
Oh, wow.
And like, here's the thing. The movie backs up this logic. Because Paul Bettany, who is like third star from the sun, Paul Bettany, just a beautiful boy. He is having none of his crananas. Oh, is there a crash? Oh no!
No, there was a point. There was a point. We got a point.
Oh, I can't
It's
see.
the first one.
Hey,
Now what do I do?
Just hold down E again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Just
Go
does
back.
all that
Now
again.
just do it again.
Yeah.
And then when it starts to
But Paul Bettany plays every scene as if he doesn't want to be there, but still amazing and great. But it's Gwyneth Paltrow who we all like gained, like our heart grew 3 sizes that day for Gwyneth Paltrow. Not kidding. She's married to Johnny Depp in the film, and every time they kiss, she goes, and that's the joke, is that Gwyneth Paltrow can't not throw up when kissing Johnny Depp. I say again, everyone in the cast is playing a practical joke in that.
Love it.
All right, so we're coming up on 20 after 7 here. I'm given to understand that you've got a few giveaways or auctions that you want to run during your call.
Yeah.
Shall we move on to those?
We can. So I did. It's basically the same thing as last year. The idea was I take my actual Blu-rays from my actual shelf, and you'll see them disappear as I give them away. So I did Scott Pilgrim, Hot Fuzz, and Dark Knight. My actual movies. They are all signed, and they say "I love you" on them. But the bit last year was like, can you make a new piece of artwork? So like we make our own DVD covers. So the Scott Pilgrim one is that.
Awesome.
Oh, that's rad.
And it's all done. That's actual watercolor. And they're all mixed media and kind of fun. So we can go one by one. I think it's kind of fun if we end on the Dark Knight reveal, because I don't know if it's the most terrifying thing I ever made or if it's actually pretty dope. No way to know. So do you want to kind of do the reveals one by one and auction them one at a time, or do you want to do them all at the same time?
Sure, let's do them one by one. We have
All
them
right.
set up as 3 lots, so
3 lots.
So
Yes.
start with Scott Pilgrim.
start
My
with Scott Pilgrim.
actual copy of Scott Pilgrim. I used to make the episode.
All right. So now this is the first auction that I've actually had to run from the driver's or from the co-pilot seat. So
Do we
Are
have?
we auctioning them?
I don't remember.
where's
There was
We're,
giveaways
we,
in here.
yeah, we
Listed
were
as
supposed.
giveaways.
I think we were
Okay.
doing them as giveaways.
all right?
That's
So
that's awesome.
we can continue to do them one by one, but rather than doing them as auctions, we're going to do them as giveaways.
Sorry, Fugi just ran in.
That's all right. I don't have the binder right in front of me, so I'm just
Yeah.
collating information as it comes to me. So then,
Should we run them concurrently but with different dollar amounts?
which is what I was thinking we would do.
Oh.
They'll go higher if you do that. Yeah.
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 And it's just a matter of making sure that we're all on the same page. But yeah, so starting with Scott Pilgrim, what do we think? And this is a question for you as well, Mikey. What do we think is a good?
Well, how many or how many partners?
70
seven
Alexis.
Alexis.
7. You got to do a multiple of 7, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And X is what number?
10.
10.
No,
Oh,
I was
of
in
the
what
alphabet?
of the alphabet.
24.
It's 24 of 26.
I believe
X,
so.
Y, Z,
Z, Y,
Z,
Z, yeah,
so
okay.
724.
724.
Nice.
Wow, that was like super efficient, and
Yeah.
Everyone
impressed.
nailed that one.
I'm
All right.
impressed.
So $7.24.
All right.
Donations of $7.24 for
That's very clever. I like the way you guys roll.
for Scott Pilgrim. Oh no, that Sorry, we've got a gift.
It wasn't even a. I was sorry.
No. It's the GIF
There's
that
a
someone
GIF in
just
chat.
posted in chat.
There's a
is really
gift in
unsettling.
chat of Scott
what?
and
Are we-
Ramona with no noses.
Are we gonna run these until the end of Mikey's call? For
I think we can run-
an hour.
We can run all
for-
3 of them for the next 45 minutes.
45?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think until 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's run them till 8. That
So,
sounds
Okay.
Max, do you want to make the first one? Just call it like Scott Pilgrim and love. Thank you.
good. He's on. All right. So now that we've got that set, chat knows. They know the dollar value. They know what is up for giveaway. Let's move on to number 2. What is number 2?
Number 2 is Hot Fuzz, and the aesthetic we
good
wanted to go
movie.
for was sort of like grimy, like punk, like spray paint stuff. So it's like spray painted, pink and blue, sort of to like make you think about
Nice.
police sirens, and it's all dripping and dope, and it's great. So, yeah.
Oh, okay. Hang on.
Okay.
Hot fuzz
So
numbers.
Graham, you're thinking.
I'm desperately thinking of like how many people are in the
Yeah.
the neighborhood watch.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
Yes.
Your birthday's the 19th of February. What year? Every year?
19th of February is a very good reference. I will back that up.
That-
219 is pretty funny.
That is good. Oh, we can't do $2.
$2.
It's so low.
February begins with the F.
I mean, it's
which is
Hot
a
Fuzz. You want a lot of
6-letter.
people to enter as many times as they can.
619.
619.
619.
Yeah, all right.
777.
Oh,
Sergeant
yeah.
Angels.
Oh, Nicholas Angel's badge.
Oh.
Thank you.
Yes.
777.
Yeah.
Very
Alright.
good pull.
724, 777.
So
Yeah, let's do that.
$7.77. $7.77.
Good. A bunch of people in the chat got there with 777. Oh, I guess 911 would have also made sense.
Yeah.
Except in the UK,
It would be 999.
999.
Ah.
Yeah. But so okay, so 777. $7.77. Nicholas
Yeah.
Angel's
For-
badge
I think
number.
that's good.
Hot, for Hot Fuzz.
Hot Fuzz. Love it.
Hot
yes.
Fuzz.
Yes.
Same time
I love
period.
Yeah.
And yeah, still ending at 8 o'clock. And then finally, we have.
All right. So this one, the aesthetic I was going for with watercolor, because I don't do a lot of watercolor. I was trying to do like a very like, you remember Scary Stories and More Scary Stories with those super creepy like
Yes.
watercolor paintings?
Mm-hmm.
I still haven't gone to sleep since I was 10 years old.
I haven't slept in 42 years. So I wanted to do that with like Joker's face,
Uh-huh.
using
Oh, no.
the sort of primary colors. It's terrifying, but I think it's cool. So the idea was I just kind of painted.
Yes.
Oh, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Moisturize me.
So that was that one. Stephanie has lost her mind.
Ian's
over Ian's joke.
Ian made a joke.
It was bad
It's
joke.
wonderful.
That was.
It's so scary. I have no idea what number to do.
No,
I
me
do.
neither. Oh, you do?
I do.
What?
Yeah.
The Dark Knight released July 18th, $7.18.
There you go.
That's pretty good.
And they're all in the
They're
same
all,
dollar.
they're all
Yes.
close together. Very good. Very
I
well
love
done.
it.
So we got 718
Becky.
for that one.
I'm very impressed with the room, coming up with numbers very quickly.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
has been some of the most
That was
efficient.
very impressive.
Yeah.
Very, very impressed.
Cool.
But you don't have to go yet, so we can do some
That's
more
true.
questions.
We,
Exactly.
we can do some more questions.
Yeah, we're not going to just kick you off now that we started those.
Whatever you want.
What else have we got?
I'm just gonna go eat waffles probably.
Oh man, now I want waffle.
What do you put on your waffles?
What do you put on your waffles?
Joy.
Joy?
Whatever I want is pretty. Like a waffle is a blank canvas.
Exactly. That's why I ask. You could do anything on a waffle.
What are you putting on this waffle? The waffle that you intend to eat.
God, if I want to get like truly indulgent, bake a pork chop down in like brown sugar and cinnamon, and then like get some cinnamon apples mixed in there, and just have yourself a savory, sweet, awesome thing.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
So
I'll
how
be
quickly
right
can we
over.
beat a Mikey?
Can we have pork
Come
chops
on down.
with- Next show, pork chops with Mikey.
Woo, that sounds delicious.
Pork chops with Mikey. That's the actually Chop Joy is what we're gonna call the new channel. It's gonna be very good.
Babish, I'm coming for you.
I mean, I don't know how much of that was a joke, but you should seriously consider it because I know that you have a lot of skill and possibly even more opinions about cooking, and I love them.
It comes up a lot. So like, here's the funny thing about Food Joy is like an actual idea. Sam and Zoe from Deep Dive came up with the idea totally separate from me on their own, and they were like, it would be really cool to make a channel with food on it called Food Joy. And they had all these ideas, and I'm like, all right, let's talk, let's figure it. Like, so down the line, I think, yeah, we want to just add the word joy to everything and just take cynicism out of the world.
I love it. I love what
That's great.
Food
I love
makes
what you do.
people happy.
It's
Food
just
makes
so
people
nice
happy.
watching your videos, Mikey. It's just so goddamn nice.
Well, what's funny about it, because I was thinking about this recently, where like, because some days you like run out of fuel and you're like, I just want to break something.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been really funny working with my business partner, Thaddeus, who runs Deep Dive, because he makes me look like the most cynical person on earth. Because he's just so positive and so joyful all of the time. And that's like a really good influence. Because like, it takes fuel to always try to be positive about everything and then just ignore the stuff that's bugging you.
So that leads into another question that we've got here.
Uh-huh.
And this one prefaces with I know this can be a bit of a rough ask, but our viewer would like to know, if you're comfortable talking about it, what some of your coping mechanisms are for dealing with the vitriol that various randos throw at you. People love you and love what you do. How do you cope with the people that vocally don't?
I take solace in my privilege and ignore that, like, I don't have it that bad, you know? Like, it's bad sometimes if people say, like, horrible stuff, but, like, comparatively, I'm not even... Like, we got a lot of problems with toxicity to fix online before we get to me, I guess. So anything I can do to help that problem without being like, and also me, because it was really only ever bad once. Which is the Thanos episode, where like people were contacting my family on Facebook and stuff, and like that got like scary, because like when it's just like people are mean, people are mean, that's what's up. It's when it gets like, oh, that's a little frightening. that's when it's hard.
Yeah.
And I just did an episode on pushing daisies right after it, because no one can be mad at pushing daisies.
Great show.
And that's how I fixed it. And it also, like, hyped me up to be like, oh, okay, this is a thing you can do, whatever.
Cool.
Stephanie's hair is so good. Have we talked about this yet? Is this like,
Yeah.
can we
It's amazing.
Yeah.
talk about her incredible hair?
Yes, please.
Thank you, Mikey.
It's like almost a shame it doesn't come off as bright on camera as it does in real life too.
It's pretty bright on
It's
It's
camera.
pretty bright on camera, but I promise you, it's even better here.
very neon-y.
Oh,
Yeah.
right on.
To see it in HD.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
Keep
Whoa.
doing that. Keep working that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get it, girl.
Please whip your hair back.
Welcome to our new YouTube show, Working It with Stephanie.
Now on Hair Joy.
Hair joy.
Here's a lighter question for you. Who's the
Oh,
best
good.
Disney princess?
My what?
Who's the best Disney princess?
The best? I disagree with the premise of your question.
All right, well,
Who's a Disney princess you enjoy?
there we go. Who's a Disney princess you enjoy?
Matt Wiggins.
Mulan's probably my favorite.
Yeah.
She definitely has the most agency of any of them. So, like, as a character of, like, someone pulling something off, yeah. Like, I'm all about Mulan.
All right. Have you seen Bad Times at the El Royale yet?
No, I haven't. I'm sorry.
Okay, then that precludes the
I
second
heard it's
question,
very
which is-
good, and it's directed by Drew Goddard and written by. So it's like the guy that made Cabin in the Woods made a new movie. I just haven't got around. I've been very busy. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Shopping for Riverdale.
What else have we got here? Do you have any movies or games you're looking forward to rewatching or replaying this winter for comfort or otherwise?
Oh God, yes. If it, like my perfect comfort movie, it's not everybody's perfect comfort movie, but mine, The Sandlot.
Yes!
Yeah.
Yes! Thank you! Oh my god, sorry. That is like one of my favorite movies that I watched so much as a kid.
That was the appropriate reaction. Thank you.
Oh, I'm so happy. Okay.
No, I actually got the opportunity to see it with some of my friends at the Alamo Draft House. They had an original 35 millimeter print of it. We got to watch the original.
Oh.
'Cause I hadn't seen the theatrical cut since like when I was a child. It's exactly as good. Like The Sandlot does not, like it's just here. You know what I mean? Like movies as they go, like, because like time evolves and whatever. Sandlot, still good.
Is there anything notably different with the theatrical cut?
Oh, I don't think so. It's just
okay.
really cool to see it on the big screen
Yeah.
with an actual film print. The vomit looks great.
Okay, that probably about wraps it up for our viewer questions. Does anybody else in the room have anything they'd like to put forward? Rhett?
I have a question for you. Has any of the movies that you've watched on Deep Dive, have any of them affected how you choose what goes in the Deep Dive box for the next one?
Actually, you'll notice at the end of an episode none of you would have seen yet, we just put up Dungeons and Dragons, the original 2000.
Oh no!
Oh, wow.
I think it's worth your time.
Oh no!
Gosh. Well, okay. So at the end of this episode, we changed it so it's not a full box. You actually open a letter from Thaddeus, like doing the Saw thing, like, would you like to play a game? And it's like 3 shocking films, because like we wanted to like really make it harder on ourselves and like evolve the show. And now we have a cavalcade of movies. People send us movies all the time to our PO box. I put like really bad sequels in there for, I forget who was choosing. I think it was Elisa. But it was Elisa. And they were bad sequels. It was Speed 2, Troll 2, and Independence Day 2.
Ooh.
Which is like 3 decades of, and that's sort of the new show, is we now kind of put you in this like trap of, that's all I can choose from? Because there was always like an easy movie to kind of cheat before, and now we're going to the mat. But we use all the movies now. It also like helps us cycle faster, so everyone that sends us stuff can see their hard work paid off.
Nice.
Oh God, in front of our eyes.
Sorry to pitch someone else's movie reviews, but someone in chat was just like, I've never heard anything about Troll 1. And Movie Bob actually just did an episode of Schlocktober about Troll 1, which is a totally like different movie from Troll 2.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah.
It's like they're essentially unrelated to each other.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're not at all. Troll 2 was a totally different movie. They just called it Troll 2 at the last second because they were Italian and.
Oh, the Mario 2 philosophy.
Also, if you haven't seen Michael Stevenson's Best Worst Movie, which is a documentary about Troll 2, like 30 years on, it's one of the greatest documentaries ever made. You should definitely check it out.
Sweet. Do you have, this is just, I'm personally curious, do you have an episode, do you have any movies with Mikey coming out between the Harry Potter episodes, or is it just mono Harry Potter until Christmas?
It's mono Harry Potter till Christmas, because
that's totally cool.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, that makes, that's understandable.
One additional question for you is just, can you give us a hint as to anything you're thinking of putting in the pipe for an episode of Movies with Mikey in the future?
Gosh. I think at the beginning of the year, so like here's the thing. I can like show you my board. It's right there.
We've never seen this side of your
And they're all crossed off because I planned the whole year at the beginning of the year.
Woo! Nice.
Oh god, I've messed up everything. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all ruined.
So I don't really know what I'm doing next year. Because I like to also reinvent myself like year to year and sort of, because like 2018 was pretty different than like the movies of Mikey that came before it, but also totally the same. So that'll be 2019 is totally different, but also the same. But yeah, if you guys have suggestions, shout them. Dungeons and Dragons, we're doing it super deep on it. We're going all the way.
Andrew says he has a really selfish suggestion.
Southland Tales.
Oh my god.
Tales.
Oh
Got
my
a call
god.
for Southland Tales in the room.
Oof.
Yes. Is that the one Kathleen mentioned on?
Yes.
Have you
Okay.
seen Southland Tales, Mikey?
Oh god, yes. It has the best cover of The Killers by Justin Timberlake you're likely to ever see.
Absolutely.
Because he's got soul and he's not a soldier. God, that one would be really good, wouldn't it? We get no clicks. So if I did that like Jarhead hole filled, where like I want to do something that's important to me, that makes a lot of sense. No one will click it.
Yeah.
That would be me and Mia watching it, and that's it.
Oh no, Kathleen and I would be right
I'd
be
there.
there too.
Oh my god, yes.
We'll have a
Well,
watch
that's
party.
5.
Yeah,
okay.
guaranteed 5 clicks.
Worth it.
Take
Anyone
those
else?
right to the bank.
I've been desperately wanting to do a movies animation taught us, but I have not yet had the time.
Yeah. Well, that's actually, that I can spoil, because that's a thing I'm doing. It was going to be at the end of this year, but Harry Potter kind of, because I have to like take care of myself and my own mental health, and it kind of simplified in a way that's like, all right. But I'm doing Lessons Animation Taught Us 2
Nice.
next year, and I'm going to talk about The Dark Crystal and Lilo and Stitch, among others, but those are the 2 that I have right now, where I have like really solid things to say about them.
Sweet.
But yeah, I want Lessons Animation Taught Us to go on forever. Like it's sort of like its own sub-show. If you go to FilmJoy, you can scroll down. There's a playlist of a bunch of other people that made awesome film essays. There's tons and tons of them now.
Good. I'm so glad, because that was, for those who weren't aware, the episode you did, Lessons Animation Taught Us, and the us was not like everyone. It was, it's like it's everyone who does an episode of this show that you want everyone to do.
That was one of the scariest things, like ever, was putting out something called Lessons Animation Taught Us, full knowing that the us is us. Because like the first comments that came in on that episode were like, this is just what animation taught you. And I'm like, give it a second.
Yeah.
And then there was like this huge outpouring of like awesome content from all these other people with all these like great takes on shows that were much younger. Like Maggie Mae Fish has a great episode on Rugrats where she makes Rugrats one of the most valuable pieces of animation like ever. So I love seeing everyone else's energy and like what they care about and what affected them. The same way that like I watch Dumbo and I'm like, yo, this racist though.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. Well, I think that about ties it up. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thanks always, Mikey.
Thank you, Mikey. You look amazing.
Can't wait to find out how much those movies go for though.
We will.
I'll send you an email.
That'll
Make sure
be
to keep
well.
you
We'll
up to
announce.
date.
I mean, that'll be in 20 minutes. So yeah.
My Twitch is on mute. I'm just literally unmuting my Desert Bus TV, so you'll be fine.
As a reminder, before you go, show them off again, please, and we can remind
yes.
everybody.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And with the dollar amounts.
Yeah.
All right, you were bidding, not betting. We're not here to bet. You're bidding on these. God, cameras are hard.
So that's Scott Pilgrim signed with a custom cover. That is bids of
$7.24.
$7.24.
Yeah.
That's right. There was
Hot Fuzz for $7.77.
Yep.
Yep.
And The Dark Knight for
$7.18.
$7.18.
Yeah.
And those are all. Those are Mikey's personal Blu-rays.
Personal Blu-rays.
From his
you,
shelf.
you have them, and I signed them and I gave them to you. The funny here's how serious about that promise I am. The movies I gave away last year, I have not rebought. Not only did you buy like my Force Awakens last year and my John Wick, I never got a new one. So, I mean, partly because everything's digital and I don't need all these discs all the time. So once I rip them and do the episode, I'm like. But they're also well worn because I've watched them numerous times.
Sweet.
That's awesome. Okay, so just one last time before you go, let everybody know where they can find you online.
You can go to youtube.com/filmjoy, FILMJOY. That has all of our shows on it. This is our channel. You can follow me on Twitter at MikeyFace. And I try not to go on any other social media because it's bad and will kill you.
Yeah, accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I'm on YouTube, Twitter. Like, I'm good. I'm fine.
It's
Awesome.
fair.
Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Yeah, of course.
And,
This is great.
For answering the questions for our chat, and we hope to see you again.
Where are the dance party buttons? We can't. We
Dance
gotta.
party buttons.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
gotta-
yeah. You gotta
Oh, the
dance
dance
us
party
out.
with Mikey.
We always gotta do dance time with Mikey.
Dance party. We have 3 buttons this year.
Yeah, it's a
Because
whole.
we get to make things
thing.
more difficult.
And we
I'm
have
armed.
to prime them, and then we have to actually
Press them
like
together.
a nuclear launch here.
Matt,
we
Rick,
have
you
to
ready?
actually
It's about
click
cooperation.
them all in
Cooperation. Ready?
in sync or at
3,
the same time.
2, 1.
There we go.
Oh yeah. I'm ready for this.
Oh, this one.
I wanna stop, collaborate, and listen. Eyes back, my brain reaches something. Grabs a hold of me tightly, fall like a hawk. Alien, nightly, we're never stop, yo. I don't know. Turn on the lights, and then I'll go to the extreme. I rock a mic like a vandal. Light up a stage and wax a chunk like a candle. Dance, rush a speaker that booms. I'm filling your brain like a poisonous push from Bentley. When I play a dope melody, anything less than the best of me. You better hit bulls, not a kid, no pain. If there was a problem, yo, I'll solve it. Check out the hook while my DJ revolves it.
Love you, Mikey.
Love you.
Love you.
Scary.
Bye.
New show dance numbers. Bye.
Oh.
Boy.
I don't get to see enough Mikey.
Shift total.
Oh, the
Shift total.
Hey,
Shift total.
wow. Can you turn off the lav mics for for what we hear? Just a note, like when I didn't notice it at first, but like everyone sounds fine except for whoever's wearing a lav mic.
Oh, that's me.
Oh, me too.
Oh, okay. Feedback then, I guess. All right. We $45,000.